Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of English Without Limit. My name is Julia, and I am really happy to have you here. In this episode, we are going to talk about a topic that is very important in our daily lives: time management. Now, what does time management mean? It simply means how we use our time during the day. Every person has 24 hours in a day, but some people use that time more effectively than others. For example, you might know a friend who always finishes work on time, gets enough sleep, and still has time to enjoy hobbies. On the other hand, maybe you also know someone who is always late, always rushing, and never finishes what they start. The difference is usually time management. Let's think about a very common daily situation. Imagine you wake up in the morning and you have to go to school, work, or university. If you wake up late, you will probably skip breakfast, feel stressed, and maybe even arrive late to class or the office. But if you manage your time well, you can wake up a little earlier, eat something healthy, and leave home without rushing. That is already a small example of how time management can change your whole day. Another example is homework or studying for an exam. Many students wait until the last night to study. They stay up late, feel nervous, and sometimes forget what they learned. But if you plan your time earlier and study a little every day, you feel more relaxed and more prepared. This is a very simple but powerful way to manage time. Time management is also important for adults in their jobs. At work, there are usually many tasks. Some people make a list of things they need to do, called a to-do list. This list helps them stay organized and not forget important tasks. For example, you can write send email to boss, finish report, call client. When you finish one, you can check it off. This is a great feeling because it shows your progress. Even in family life, time management plays a big role. Think about parents who need to cook, clean, help children with homework, and also go to work. If they do not plan their time, they will feel tired and stressed. But if they have a routine like cooking at a certain time and helping kids in the evening, things become easier. So, time management is not only about work or school, it is also about enjoying life. If you manage your time well, you can find time for fun activities like reading, playing sports, or meeting friends. Many people say, I don't have time. But usually the problem is not time itself, it is how we use it. I think one of the biggest challenges for people is distractions. For example, we often spend too much time on social media or watching TV. Of course, it is fine to relax, but if we spend hours scrolling on the phone, we lose time for more important things. A good tip is to set a limit, like I will use my phone for only 30 minutes now. After that, focus on something else. Time management also means making priorities. A priority is something that is more important than other things. For example, if you have a test tomorrow, your priority should be studying, not playing video games. But after the test, you can relax and play games. Knowing your priorities helps you focus and avoid wasting time. Another helpful idea is to use a planner or calendar. Some people write down their schedule in a notebook, and others use an app on their phone. For example, you can write Monday, 9 a.m. English class, Tuesday, 3 p.m. doctor's appointment. This way, you can see what you have to do each day and plan better. Time management also helps reduce stress. When we don't plan, we often feel worried because there is too much to do. But if you make a plan, you feel more in control. You know exactly what to do first, second, and third. This gives you peace of mind. And remember, time management is not about being busy all the time. It is about balance. You need time for work, study, family, and also rest. If you only work all the time, you will get tired. But if you only relax, you won't achieve your goals. Good time management means having time for both responsibilities and fun. All right, so we have already talked about what time management means and why it is important in school, at work, and in our personal life. Now, let's go a little deeper and look at some very common everyday examples of time management. Let's imagine a student named Daniel. Daniel is in high school and he usually wakes up late. He likes to stay up at night playing video games, so he goes to bed after midnight. Because of that, he often oversleeps and misses breakfast. He runs to school without preparing properly. And during class, he feels sleepy and cannot concentrate. After school, he tells himself, I will do my homework later. But instead, he spends hours scrolling on his phone and chatting with friends. At night, he realizes he still has homework to finish, so he does it quickly and makes mistakes. The next day, he feels tired again. Now, compare Daniel with another student, Emma. Emma also goes to the same school, but she tries to manage her time better. She goes to bed a little earlier so she can wake up on time. She eats breakfast, which gives her energy, and she arrives at school without stress. After school, she takes a short break, maybe 20 minutes to relax, and then she starts doing her homework. She also makes a small plan like from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I will study math. From 5 o'clock to 5:30, I will read my English book. After finishing her work, she has free time to do what she enjoys, like drawing or talking with friends. Because she manages her time, she feels less stressed and learns more. This shows us that time management is not about being smarter, but about using time wisely. Both Daniel and Emma have the same number of hours in a day, but Emma uses them more effectively. Now, let's think about working adults. Imagine Mr. Smith, who works in an office. He has many tasks to complete during the day. If he doesn't plan his time, he may start one task, then stop in the middle, answer some emails, then talk to a colleague, and then remember another unfinished job. By the end of the day, he feels busy but has not finished much. But if Mr. Smith makes a list in the morning, his day looks different. He writes down his priorities. First, finish the report. Second, call the client. Third, answer emails. He focuses on one thing at a time instead of jumping between tasks. At lunch, he takes a short break, and after the break, he continues with his list. At the end of the day, he feels satisfied because he actually finished important work. Again, this is the power of time management. Now, let's bring it closer to family life. Think about parents with young children. Parents usually have so many things to do. For example, they need to cook meals, clean the house, help children with homework, and maybe also go to work. If they don't manage their time, everything feels chaotic. Imagine a parent who comes home from work and suddenly realizes that the house is messy, dinner is not ready, and the children are asking for help. This creates stress for the whole family. But if that parent plans ahead, things are easier. Maybe they prepare some food in the morning or on the weekend so dinner is faster to cook. Maybe they set a fixed time for homework, like 7 p.m. every evening. When everyone knows the schedule, life feels more calm and organized. This is a clear example of time management in daily family life. Another daily life situation where time management is useful is shopping. Have you ever gone to the supermarket without a list? You walk around, look at many products, and spend a lot of time choosing. In the end, you might even forget something important. But if you make a list before shopping, you know exactly what to buy. This saves time and money. Making a shopping list is actually a small form of time management. Now, let's talk about how technology can help us manage our time. These days, many people use smartphones and apps to plan their schedules. For example, you can use the calendar app on your phone to add important dates like birthdays, meetings, or exams. You can also set reminders so your phone will alert you before an event. This is very helpful because sometimes we simply forget things. Using technology in a smart way is part of good time management. However, technology can also be a big problem if we don't control it. For example, social media and online games can waste hours of our day. Some people sit down to watch one short video and then suddenly 1 hour has passed. That's why it's important to set limits. You can tell yourself, I will watch videos for only 20 minutes and then stop. This is self control and it is a key part of time management. Another useful idea is the Pomodoro technique. This is a simple method for managing study or work time. You set a timer for 25 minutes and focus on only one task during that time. After 25 minutes, you take a short 5-minute break. Then you start another 25-minute session. This technique is very popular because it helps people stay focused without getting too tired. It's a great way to manage your time, especially if you often get distracted. Time management is also about saying no. Many times we agree to do too many things because we don't want to disappoint others. For example, maybe your friends asks you to go out when you really need to study. If you always say yes, you will not have time for your priorities. Learning to say no politely is an important skill. You can say, I'm sorry, I can't today. I have to finish my work, but maybe another day. This way, you respect your time and still keep your friendship. Now, let's look at the connection between time management and health. If you don't manage your time, you may not have enough sleep or you may skip meals. This can make you tired, stressed, and even sick. But with good time management, you can balance your responsibilities and still have time for exercise, healthy eating, and rest. For example, you can plan to take a short walk every evening or to cook meals on the weekend so you eat healthier during the week. This shows that time management is not just about work. It's also about taking care of your body and mind. Also, good time management gives you more freedom. Some people think planning makes life boring, but actually it gives you more free time. For example, if you finish your homework early, you can enjoy the rest of the evening without worry. If you finish your work tasks on time, you can leave the office earlier and spend more time with your family or hobbies. In this way, planning your time creates freedom, not limits. Let's take another story. Imagine a university student named Sophia. She studies engineering and she also has a part-time job. Her life is very busy. At first, Sophia didn't plan her time. She would go to work, come home tired, and then try to study late at night. She often missed deadlines and felt stressed. But then she decided to organize her schedule. She made a weekly plan with specific hours for work, study, and rest. She also wrote down small goals for each day, like finish 2 chapters or write 1 page of the essay. After some time, Sophia realized she was doing better at school and still had time to relax with her friends. This shows how time management can change someone's whole lifestyle. Time management also helps with motivation. When you see progress, like checking tasks off a list, you feel motivated to continue. On the other hand, if you don't plan, you may feel lost and unmotivated. For example, think about cleaning your room. If you try to clean the whole room at once, it feels like too much work. But if you say, today I will clean the desk, tomorrow I will clean the closet, the job feels smaller and easier. Breaking big tasks into small steps is another important part of managing time. And let's not forget about hobbies and personal growth. Many people say, I wish I had time to learn a new language, or I wish I had time to play the guitar. The truth is, you often do have time. You just need to manage it better. Even 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference if you do it regularly. For example, listening to English podcasts for 15 minutes every day can really improve your listening skills over time. This is why time management is so important for personal goals. So far, we have seen that time management helps us in school, at work, and even in our personal life. Now let's look at some specific daily routines where time management makes a huge difference. Think about your morning routine. Many people say that the way you start your day decides how the rest of your day will go. If you wake up late, you rush, you forget things, and you start the day stressed. But if you wake up on time, prepare calmly, and maybe even do a small activity like stretching or reading for 5 minutes, your day feels better. A good tip is to prepare some things the night before. For example, you can put your clothes out, pack your bag, or make a list of things you need to do the next day. This small habit saves you a lot of time in the morning. Let's imagine a person named Alex. Alex is always late in the morning. He wakes up, spends 20 minutes deciding what to wear, and then looks for his keys, which are lost somewhere in the house. Finally, he leaves home in a hurry and arrives at school late. But if Alex prepared his clothes the night before and put his keys in the same place every day, he could save 30 minutes. This shows how small habits are part of time management. Another important area is mealtime. Many people skip breakfast or eat unhealthy fast food because they say they don't have time. But the truth is, preparing a simple meal does not take too long if you plan. For example, making oatmeal or a sandwich in the morning only takes 5 minutes. If you prepare some ingredients the night before, it is even faster. Good nutrition is connected to time management because when you eat well, you feel more energy and can use your time better. Now, let's talk about studying. Many students find studying difficult because they wait until the last moment. Imagine you have an exam on Friday. If you start studying on Thursday night, you will feel stressed and tired and you might not remember much. But if you study a little bit every day from Monday, like 30 minutes or 1 hour, by Friday you will feel more confident. This is called spaced repetition, and it is a great way to manage time for learning. You don't need to study for many hours at once. Short, regular study sessions are more effective. Some students also use color-coded schedules. For example, they write math in blue, English in red, science in green. This makes the schedule easy to see and helps them remember what to do. Visual tools like this are helpful for people who like to organize their time in a colorful way. Workplace time management is also important. Let's imagine 2 workers, Sarah and Michael. Sarah comes to the office, checks her emails, and spends 1 hour answering every small message.
Then she starts working on her big project, but does not finish it on time.
Michael, on the other hand, decides to focus on the most important project first because it has a deadline. He answers only the urgent emails and leaves the rest for later. At the end of the day, Michael feels satisfied because he finished his main task, while Sarah feels stressed because her project is not done. This is the difference between being busy and being productive. Time management is not just about doing many things, it is about doing the right things first. Another useful strategy is setting goals. Goals give you direction. Without goals, time is easily wasted. For example, let's say you want to improve your English. If you just say, I want to be better at English someday, that is too general. But if you set a goal like, I will learn 10 new words every day, or I will listen to one English podcast for 20 minutes each, you have a clear plan. Goals help you manage your time because you know exactly what to focus on. Some people also use the SMART goals method. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, instead of saying, I want to read more, a SMART goal would be, I will read one English article every morning for 15 minutes before breakfast. This goal is specific, measurable, realistic, relevant, and it has a clear time frame. Let's talk about another common situation, house chores. Cleaning the house often feels like a big job, but if you manage your time, it becomes easier. For example, instead of cleaning everything in one day, you can clean a little every day. On Monday, clean the kitchen. On Tuesday, clean the bathroom. On Wednesday, do the laundry. This way, the house stays clean and you never feel too tired. Many people also like to set a timer. They say, I will clean for only 15 minutes. You will be surprised how much you can do in just 15 minutes if you focus. Time management is also about avoiding multitasking. Many people believe they can do many things at once, like studying while watching TV or writing an email while talking on the phone. But usually, multitasking makes you slower and less effective. It is better to do one thing at a time with full attention. For example, when you study, keep your phone away and focus only on your book or notes. After finishing, you can reward yourself with a break. Speaking of breaks, rest is also part of time management. Some people think that resting is wasting time, but actually, it helps you work better. For example, if you study for 3 hours without a break, your brain becomes tired and you stop remembering. But if you study for 1 hour, take a 10-minute break, and then continue, you learn more. Breaks give your mind and body energy. That is why they are an important part of managing your time. Let's also think about travel and transportation. Many people waste time because they don't plan their route. For example, if you leave the house without checking traffic or bus schedules, you might wait a long time. But if you plan your trip, you can save minutes or even hours. Some people even use their travel time for learning. For example, if you take the bus every day for 30 minutes, you can listen to an English podcast or read a book. This way, you use your travel time effectively instead of just sitting and waiting. Another interesting point is how culture influences time management. In some cultures, people are very strict about time. If a meeting is at 9, everyone arrives at 8:55. In other cultures, people are more flexible and might arrive 15 minutes late. When you travel or work internationally, it is important to understand these differences. But in general, being on time shows respect for other people's time, and it is an important skill for building good relationships. Now, let's move to the topic of procrastination. Procrastination means delaying something you need to do. Many people procrastinate because the task feels too big or boring. For example, you need to write an essay, but you think, I will do it later. Instead, you watch videos or clean your room. Later, you feel stressed because the deadline is close. To fight procrastination, a good tip is to start with small steps. For example, say, I will write just one paragraph now. After you start, you often feel motivated to continue. Starting is usually the hardest part. Another way to avoid procrastination is to use rewards. You can tell yourself, if I finish this homework, I will watch one episode of my favorite show.
This makes the task feel easier because you have something to look forward to. Rewards are simple but effective ways to manage your time and motivate yourself. Let's think about another example, learning a new skill. Suppose you want to learn cooking. If you wait for a big free day to start, maybe that day never comes. But if you plan to cook one new recipe every Sunday evening, you slowly improve over time. You will be surprised at how many dishes you can cook. This shows that small, regular actions are powerful when you manage your time. Even friendships and relationships benefit from time management. Sometimes people are so busy that they forget to spend time with loved ones. But if you plan, you can make time. For example, you can decide to call your parents every Saturday morning or meet a friend for lunch once a week. Planning these moments keeps relationships strong. Without planning, weeks may pass and you suddenly realize you haven't spoken to important people in your life. Time management also connects to money. Have you noticed that when you don't manage your time, you often spend more money? For example, if you don't plan your meals, you might buy expensive fast food. If you don't plan your shopping, you might buy unnecessary things. But with a little planning, you save both time and money. For example, cooking at home saves time waiting in restaurants and also costs less.
Finally, let's talk about relaxation. Many people feel guilty when they relax, but relaxation is necessary. If you manage your time, you can enjoy relaxation without stress. For example, if you plan your study from 5 to 7, then from 7:30 to 8:30, you can watch a movie and really enjoy it because you know you already finished your work. This balance between work and rest makes life more enjoyable. So far, we have talked about how time management helps in school, work, home, health, and even relationships. Now I want to share with you some practical exercises and habits that you can try in your own daily life to improve your time management. These are simple, but if you practice them every day, you will notice a big difference. Let's start with the very simple exercise. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to write down what you need to do tomorrow. Just 5 minutes. For example, you can write, wake up at 7, eat breakfast at 7:15, go to class at 8 o'clock, study English for 30 minutes at 4 o'clock, call mom at 7 o'clock, relax and read at 9 o'clock. When you wake up the next day, you already know your plan. This makes the morning easier and helps you feel organized. Many successful people say that writing a plan the night before is one of their best habits. Another exercise is time tracking. For one day, write down everything you do and how much time it takes. For example, 8 to 8:30, breakfast, 8:30 to 9, walking to school, 9 to 12, class, 12 to 1, lunch, 1 to 2:30, social media, 2:30 to 4, homework. At the end of the day, look at your notes. You might be surprised at how much time you spend on activities that are not very important. Maybe you spend 2 hours on your phone without realizing it. Time tracking helps you see where your time goes, and then you can decide what to change. Let's practice a little role play to show how people talk about managing time in English. Example 1, talking about being busy. Daniel says, I'm always so busy. I feel like I never have enough time. Emma says, do you make a plan for your day? Daniel says, not really. I just do things when I remember. Emma says, maybe you should try writing a to-do list. It helps me stay organized.
This short dialogue uses simple phrases that you can also use in your daily life to talk about time management. I never have enough time. I make a plan. I write a to-do list. These are useful sentences for talking about time management. Example 2, saying no politely. Sarah says, "Hey, do you want to go shopping this afternoon?" Michael says, "I'd love to, but I really need to finish my project today. Can we go tomorrow instead?" Sarah says, "Sure, no problem." Here, Michael manages his time by focusing on his priority. He says no politely and offers another time. This is a very good skill to learn. Let's also look at how people in different cultures think about time. In countries like Germany, Switzerland, or Japan, people are very strict about time. If a meeting is at 10 o'clock, you should arrive before 10 o'clock. Being late is considered disrespectful. In other countries like Spain or Brazil, time is a little more flexible. People may arrive 10 or 15 minutes late, and it is not such a big problem. If you travel, it is important to understand these differences. But in general, being on time shows that you respect other people's time. Now, let's talk about motivation and time. Sometimes people do not manage their time well because they don't feel motivated. For example, you may know you need to study, but you don't feel like doing it. One tip is to use the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself, I will do this for only 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, often you want to continue because starting is the hardest part. This small trick can help you begin tasks that feel difficult. Let's imagine another story, this time about a university student named Amina. She always procrastinates with her essays. She says, I'll start tomorrow. But then the deadline is very close, and she stays up all night writing. One day, her teacher gave her advice. She said, work on your essay for just 10 minutes each day. You don't need to finish it at once. Amina tried it, and she discovered that after 10 minutes, she often wanted to keep going. Slowly, she finished her essays earlier with less stress. This is a good example of how small habits help with time management. Now, let's connect time management with technology. Many people use apps like Google Calendar, Microsoft To Do, or even simple notes apps on their phone. You can write tasks and set reminders. For example, your phone can remind you, study English at 6 o'clock. This is useful because sometimes we forget things when life is busy. However, remember that technology can also waste time, so be careful not to spend more time choosing apps than actually doing your tasks. Here's a little role play that shows how someone might talk about using the calendar. Jack says, how do you remember all your meetings? Lisa says, I use a calendar app on my phone. It reminds me 10 minutes before each meeting. Jack says, that's smart. Maybe I should try it too. This shows a natural way to talk about time management tools in English. Another exercise for learners is setting priorities with a simple chart. Imagine you draw a box with 4 parts: important and urgent, important but not urgent, not important but urgent, not important and not urgent. For example, if you have an exam tomorrow, studying is important and urgent. If you want to exercise to stay healthy, it is important but not urgent. Answering a random phone call may be urgent but not important. Scrolling on social media is usually not important and not urgent. Looking at tasks this way helps you decide what to do first. Many people waste time on things that are not important and not urgent. Let's take a workplace example. Imagine Maria works in a company. She has to finish a report for her boss by tomorrow. That is important and urgent. She also wants to improve her skills by reading professional articles. That is important but not urgent. She gets many emails from colleagues about small issues. Those are urgent but not very important. And she also receives funny messages on her phone. That is not important and not urgent. If Maria understands this, she can focus on her report first, then read her articles, then answer emails, and finally check her phone later. This helps her use her time wisely. Now, let's talk about how to make routines. Routines are daily habits that save time. For example, brushing your teeth every morning is a routine. You don't think about it, you just do it. Routines reduce stress because you don't need to make a decision every time. You already know what to do. Many successful people have strong routines like exercising at the same time every day or reading before bed. For learners of English, a good routine could be listening to English podcasts while having breakfast. It becomes a natural part of the day. Another point is balance. Time management is not about working all the time. It is about balancing work, study, and rest. Imagine a student who studies for 8 hours without a break. He may get good grades, but he feels exhausted and unhappy. Another student studies for 4 hours, rests, exercises, and spends time with friends. She also gets good grades, but she feels happier. Balance is very important. Good time management includes fun and relaxation. Let's look at another mini dialogue. Tom, Julia, I studied all weekend and I'm so tired. Julia, you need to take breaks. Time management is not only about studying, it's also about relaxing. Tom, yes, you're right. Next time I'll plan some free time too. This dialogue shows that even simple English can communicate the idea of balance. Now, let's bring in the topic of time management and goals for the future. Sometimes people think only about today, but managing your time also means thinking about the future. For example, if you save 30 minutes each day to learn something new, after 1 year, you will be much better. Imagine you practice English speaking for 30 minutes a day. That is 210 minutes a week, more than 3 hours. In a year, that is over 150 hours. Small steps become big progress. This is why time management is connected to success. Another exercise you can try is weekly reflection. At the end of the week, ask yourself, what did I do well with my time? What did I waste time on? What can I do better next week? This helps you learn from your mistakes and improve step by step. You don't need to be perfect, but little improvements each week make a big difference. Finally, let's talk about how time management makes life more enjoyable. When you plan your tasks and finish them, you feel relaxed and free. You can spend time with your family, friends, or hobbies without worrying. You can travel, learn new things, or just rest. Time is life. If you manage your time well, you enjoy your life more fully. Let's start with something that almost everyone does every single day, eating meals. You might not think about time management when it comes to food, but it plays a big role. For example, if you don't plan when to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you might end up skipping meals or eating too late at night. When that happens, you feel tired. Your energy goes down, and sometimes you even lose focus at school or work. But if you say to yourself, I will eat breakfast at 7:30, lunch at 1, and dinner at 7, you create a healthy routine. You know when to stop and recharge. This is time management for your health.
Now, let's think about chores at home. For many people, housework feels never ending. There are always dishes to wash, clothes to fold, or floors to clean. If you wait until everything is a big mess, it takes hours and hours to clean up. But if you spend just 10 or 15 minutes each day on small tasks, it becomes much easier. For example, washing dishes right after dinner takes 10 minutes, but leaving them until the weekend may take an hour or more. This is another example of how managing small bits of time saves a lot in the long run. I want to share another situation that I think many people can relate to: transportation. How many times have you missed a bus, a train, or arrived late because you didn't plan your travel time? It happens to almost everyone. If you know you need 20 minutes to get to the bus stop and the bus leaves at 8:30, then you must leave home no later than 8:10. That's simple math. But many of us still leave at 8:20 and then run feeling stressed, hoping not to miss it. When you practice time management here, you not only arrive on time, but also feel calm. You can listen to music, look around, and start your day without stress. Time management is also about energy. Have you noticed that sometimes you work better in the morning, while at other times you prefer the evening? Everyone has different energy hours. Some people are morning people. They wake up with energy and can focus easily before noon. Others are night owls. They feel more creative and productive in the evening. If you know yourself, you can use this to manage time better. For example, if you are a morning person, maybe do your most difficult task like studying, writing, or problem solving in the morning. Then do easier tasks like cleaning or answering messages in the evening. This way, you use your energy wisely. Another thing that really connects to time management is goal setting. If you don't know what your goals are, you don't know how to use your time. Goals can be big, like, I want to learn English fluently, or I want to save money to buy a car. Goals can also be small, like, I want to finish my homework today before 9 o'clock. Both are important. When you know your goal, it's easier to organize time. For example, if your goal is to improve English, you can plan, I will listen to podcasts for 20 minutes in the morning, and I will read one article in the evening. These little steps done every day add up to a big result. Let's also talk about the workplace again. Many people at work feel that there are not enough hours in the day. But often, it's not about hours, it's about focus. Sometimes people spend too much time on small tasks, like checking email every 5 minutes. That's not effective. A good tip is to check email only 2 or 3 times a day, not every few minutes. Then you have more time for bigger tasks. Another trick is called the Pomodoro technique. Have you heard of it? It means working for 25 minutes, then taking a 5-minute break. After 4 rounds, you take a longer break. This method helps you stay focused without getting tired. Even students can use this method. If you study math, for example, you sit and focus for 25 minutes. When the timer goes off, you stretch, drink water, or walk for 5 minutes. Then you come back with a clear mind. Many people find this very useful because it stops procrastination.
Procrastination means waiting too long before starting something important. We all do it sometimes. Maybe you say, I will clean my room later, or I will start my essay tomorrow. But the work becomes bigger and bigger until it feels scary. By starting small, even just 25 minutes, you beat procrastination. Technology can be both a helper and a problem for time management. On the one hand, there are so many apps that can help you. You can use reminders, alarms, and calendar apps to organize your schedule. For example, you can set an alarm to remind you to drink water, to take a walk, or attend a meeting. That's very useful. On the other hand, technology can also waste time. If you spend hours scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube without noticing the time, you lose hours. The key is balance. Use technology as a tool, not as a distraction. Let's look at another real-life example. Shopping. Many people go shopping without a list. They walk around the supermarket, forget what they need, and sometimes buy things they don't need. That takes a lot of time and money. But if you make a shopping list before going, you save time. You know exactly what to buy and you finish quickly. This is also time management. Traveling is another area where time management matters. Imagine you are going on holiday. If you pack your bag at the last minute, you might forget something important like your passport or charger. But if you plan ahead, make a list, and start packing 1 or 2 days earlier, you feel relaxed and prepared. Time management makes the trip smoother. Even small things like bedtime are a part of time management. If you go to bed very late every night, you will wake up tired and late. But if you decide, I will sleep at 11 p.m. every night, your body gets used to it and you feel healthier. Good sleep is one of the best ways to save energy for the next day. Another interesting point is that time management helps you build trust with others. For example, if you are always on time for meetings or classes, people will respect you. They will think, this person is reliable. But if you are always late, people may feel frustrated or think you don't care. So managing time is not only about your own life, but also about your relationships with others. I also want to mention something important. Saying no. Many people say yes to everything, helping friends, joining activities, or doing extra tasks until they have no time left for themselves. Learning to say no politely is a big part of time management. For example, if you already have too much work, you can say, I would love to help, but I cannot today. This way, you protect your time. One more everyday example is cooking. If you cook without planning, you may waste a lot of time thinking about what to make or running to the store because you forgot an ingredient. But if you plan your meals for the week, maybe even prepare some food in advance, you save time every day. Many busy people cook once on Sunday and prepare food for the whole week. That's excellent time management. And let's not forget exercise. Many people say they have no time to exercise. But if you look closely, sometimes they spend hours on TV or games. By managing time, you can find even 20 minutes to walk, stretch, or do yoga. Exercise gives energy, and with more energy, you use your time better. Finally, time management is about habits. When you make good habits like sleeping on time, making a to-do list, or studying a little every day, life becomes easier. You don't need to think too much because the routine guides you over time. These habits help you achieve your bigger goals. Now, let's begin with a very simple but powerful example: morning routines. Have you ever noticed that the way you start your morning often decides how the rest of your day feels? If your morning is rushed, stressful, and messy, your whole day may feel the same. But if your morning is calm, organized, and planned, your day often feels smoother. Time management in the morning is like setting the tone for everything else. Imagine two people. Person A wakes up at 7:45, but they need to leave home at 8. They jump out of bed, quickly put on clothes, skip breakfast, and run to the bus. They are stressed, forget their homework, and feel tired already. Now, person B wakes up at 7. They have 15 minutes for stretching, 15 minutes for breakfast, 10 minutes to prepare their bag, and 20 minutes to get ready. They leave home calmly at 8. Which person do you think feels better? Clearly, person B. This is not because they have more hours, but because they manage their time better. Morning routines can include little habits that make you feel in control. For example, laying out your clothes the night before saves you 5 to 10 minutes in the morning. Preparing your lunch in advance also saves stress. Even charging your phone the night before is a form of time management because in the morning, you don't need to waste time searching for a charger. Small actions add up and they change the quality of your day. Now, let's look at another common area: studying languages. Many of you are listening to English Without Limit because you want to improve your English. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough time to study, but time management can help you learn more effectively even if you only have 20 minutes per day. Let's imagine a student, Daniel. He wants to practice English, but he also has work, family, and other responsibilities. Instead of saying, "I'll study when I have time," Daniel decides to make a small routine. He listens to a podcast on the bus in the morning. During lunch break, he writes 5 sentences in English. In the evening, he spends 15 minutes reading a short article. This doesn't take much time, but because he does it every day, his English improves. That's the power of time management, using little bits of time wisely. This example shows that you don't always need large amounts of free time. Sometimes we wait for the perfect moment, like a free weekend or a quiet day, but those moments are rare. Instead, use small pieces of time throughout the day. We call this micro-learning. For example, when waiting in line, you can review vocabulary on your phone. When cooking, you can listen to English audio. These little actions managed with time give big results over weeks and months. Another important part of time management is knowing the difference between urgent and important tasks. Sometimes things feel urgent, like answering a phone call right away or replying to every notification. But are they always important? Not really. For example, if you are writing an assignment and suddenly your phone beeps with a new social media message, it feels urgent, but it is not important. The important thing is finishing your work. A good time manager learns to ask, is this urgent or is this important? If it is important, you should focus on it first. If it is just urgent but not important, you can deal with it later. Let's bring this idea into a real-life role play. Imagine Emma is a university student. She has an exam tomorrow, but her friend texts her, "Come hang out. Let's watch a movie tonight." Now Emma feels pressure. Hanging out sounds urgent because the message just arrived. But is it important? Probably not, especially if the exam is more important. A good time manager would say, "Thanks, but I need to study tonight. Let's meet after the exam." This way, she protects her time and her priorities. Sometimes people think time management means working all the time, but that's not true. It also includes resting and relaxing. For example, let's think about weekends. Some people spend the whole weekend doing nothing productive. Then on Sunday night, they feel guilty. Others spend the whole weekend working, and by Monday, they feel exhausted. Good time management means planning both rest and activity. For example, on Saturday morning, you might clean the house. In the afternoon, you go shopping. And in the evening, you watch a movie. On Sunday, you study for 2 hours, then go out for a walk with friends. This way, you have balance. You are productive and also relaxed.
Let's talk about breaks. Many people think that taking breaks wastes time, but actually, breaks are a smart way of managing time. When you take short breaks, your brain rests and you work better afterward. Imagine working at a computer for 3 hours without a break. You feel tired, your eyes hurt, and you make mistakes. But if you work for 50 minutes, then take a 10-minute break, you return with more energy. So time management is not just about doing more, but about doing things better. Now, let's focus on a very practical tool, the to-do list. To-do lists are one of the simplest and most effective ways to manage time. You can write your list on paper or use an app. The important thing is to make it clear and realistic. For example, a bad to-do list is study, clean, shop, work, relax. That's too general. A good to-do list is read 2 pages of an English book, wash dishes, buy bread and milk, finish work report. This way, your goals are clear, small, and possible. One trick with to-do lists is to write them the night before. Before you sleep, write down what you need to do tomorrow. This helps you sleep better because your mind is calm and you already know your plan for the next day. When you wake up, you don't waste time thinking, what should I do first? Instead, you just follow the list. Another useful tool is the calendar. Some people use paper calendars and others use digital ones. Calendars are great for bigger plans like events, deadlines, and appointments. For example, if you know that your English exam is in 2 weeks, mark it on the calendar. Then plan small study sessions leading up to it. Calendars help you see the big picture, while to-do lists help you with daily tasks. Let's talk about how time management connects to money. Yes, money. Time and money are very connected. For example, if you don't manage your time and you're always late, you may have to pay extra fees, like for missing a train ticket or paying a late bill. On the other hand, if you manage your time well, you save money. For example, cooking at home instead of buying fast food saves both time and money in the long run. Preparing your own lunch might take 15 minutes in the morning, but it saves you from waiting in a long line and spending extra money during lunch break. I also want to bring up how time management can reduce conflicts. Imagine a family where no one manages their time. The parents forget to pick up the kids from school on time, meals are late, homework is rushed, and everyone feels stressed. This often leads to arguments. But if the family creates a simple routine, dinner at 7, homework at 6, bedtime at 9, life feels calmer and relationships are better. So, time management also improves peace in the home. Something else that is important is preparation. Time management is not just about the present moment, but also about preparing for the future. For example, if you have a job interview tomorrow, you can prepare your clothes,
documents and directions today. If you don't, you might wake up late tomorrow, search for clothes, lose your documents, and arrive late. That creates stress. But preparing early gives you confidence and calm. Let's also look at health. Poor time management often leads to poor health. For example, if you don't manage your time, you may skip meals, eat junk food, or forget to exercise. You may also stay up too late. Over time, this makes you sick or tired. Good time management gives you time for healthy meals, exercise, and enough sleep. It's not just about being productive. It's about living a healthier life. Now, I want to bring another story example. Imagine two friends, Sarah and Jack. Sarah never plans her time. She wakes up late, forgets homework, and often cancels plans with friends because she is behind. She feels stressed and unhappy. Jack, on the other hand, makes small plans. He uses a to-do list, studies a little every day, and always arrives on time. Jack has more free time than Sarah because he doesn't waste time on last-minute stress. Who do you think feels better at the end of the day? Of course, Jack. And the difference is time management. Finally, let's talk about motivation. Sometimes managing time is difficult because we don't feel motivated. We think, I'll do it later. A good trick is to make tasks smaller. For example, instead of saying, I will study for 3 hours, say, I will study for 20 minutes. Usually, when you start, you find it easier to continue. Another trick is to reward yourself. After finishing homework, you can reward yourself with a small break, a snack, or a favorite show. These small rewards keep you motivated and make time management easier. Many people spend a lot of time traveling every day. Sometimes people get frustrated because they feel like commuting wastes time. But with good planning, commuting can become productive. For example, if you take the bus or train to work or school, you can use that time to do something useful. You can listen to a podcast, review vocabulary, read a book, or plan your day. This way, commuting becomes part of your learning or personal growth instead of wasted time. Here's a simple role play. Anna, how do you spend your time on the bus? Mark, I listen to an English podcast for 30 minutes. It helps me improve my listening skills. Anna, that's smart. I usually just scroll on my phone, but maybe I should try that too. This is an example of how small decisions in daily life can improve your skills while saving time. Next, let's talk about shopping and errands. Many people spend hours shopping because they don't plan. For example, Maria goes to the market without a list. She walks around, forgets what she needs, and sometimes buys things she doesn't need. She spends 2 hours shopping, which could have just been 30 minutes with a simple list. Planning shopping trips is a form of time management. You can make a list the night before and decide the best route to the store. This saves time, reduces stress, and even saves money. Now, let's move to another important area, studying. Many students feel overwhelmed by homework or exam preparation. Time management can make studying more effective. For example, let's imagine a student, Leo, who has 3 subjects to study: English, math, and science. Without a plan, he may study English for 3 hours, then get tired and study math poorly. But if he makes a plan, 1 hour English, 45 minutes math, 30 minutes science with short breaks, he can focus better and finish all subjects efficiently. Here's a dialogue example. Leo, I don't have enough time to study everything. Nina, have you tried making a study schedule? Leo, no, I just study randomly. Nina, try 30 to 60-minute sessions for each subject with breaks in between. It works really well. This shows simple English phrases for learners while also teaching practical time management skills. Time management is also about learning to say no politely. Many people accept too many invitations or extra work, then feel stressed and tired. For example, if your friend invites you to watch a movie, but you have homework due tomorrow, it's okay to say, I would love to join, but I need to finish my homework. Can we meet another time? Learning this skill protects your time for important tasks. Another key aspect is preparation for the next day. Many people waste time in the morning because they're not ready. For example, packing your bag, preparing lunch, or setting clothes aside the night before saves time and stress. This simple preparation is a form of time management. Even charging your phone or laptop the night before ensures you don't waste time searching for a charger in the morning. Let's talk about managing your week. Some people plan only day by day, but planning weekly can save even more time. For example, every Sunday evening, you can make a list of tasks for the week. You can write down meetings, homework, errands, exercise, and relaxation time. Planning your week helps you see the big picture and avoid last-minute stress. Here's another dialogue. Paul, I always feel busy and tired during the week. Sarah, do you plan your week in advance? Paul, no, I just see what comes up each day. Sarah, try making a weekly plan on Sunday. It really helps you organize your time. Now let's look at energy management. Time management is not only about hours and minutes, but also about energy. For example, some people work best in the morning and feel tired in the evening. Others are night owls. If you know your natural energy times, you can plan your most important tasks during your best hours. For example, if you are a morning person, do your study or work tasks in the morning and leave simpler tasks like cleaning or errands for later. This way, you use your energy efficiently. Another practical example is using small breaks effectively. Many people think breaks are a waste of time, but the opposite is true. Short breaks refresh your brain. For example, you can work for 50 minutes, then take a 10-minute walk or stretch. After the break, you return with more focus and energy. This improves productivity and reduces stress. Let's explore technology and time management. Technology can help, but it can also distract. For example, calendar apps, reminder apps, and to-do list apps are very useful. You can set reminders for meetings, study sessions, or appointments. But social media apps can take time away if you're not careful. A good rule is to use technology consciously. Ask yourself, will this app help me manage my time or waste it? Now let's talk about deadlines. Meeting deadlines is a key part of time management. Many people leave tasks until the last minute, which creates stress and lowers quality. For example, a student may wait until the night before an assignment is due, then stay up all night to finish it. But if the student plans small steps every day, like writing 100 words per day for an essay, they finish on time and feel calm. Meeting deadlines is not just about work or study. It's about feeling organized and confident. Another tip is to prioritize tasks using a simple method. You can separate tasks into 4 groups: important and urgent, important but not urgent, urgent but not urgent, and not important. For example, preparing for an exam is important and urgent. Calling a friend for a small chat may be urgent but not important. Watching TV randomly may be not urgent and not important. By using this method, you can focus on what matters most. Here's a role play for prioritization. Maria, I have so much to do: homework, cleaning, emails, and shopping. Tom, which task is most important and urgent? Maria, the homework is due tomorrow, so that's the first priority. Tom, good. Do that first, then the other tasks.
This shows learners how to speak naturally about priorities in English. Time management also improves relationships. For example, if you arrive on time to meet friends or family, people feel respected. If you are always late, it can create tension. Simple habits like checking the clock or leaving 10 minutes early show that you value other people's time. Exercise is another area often neglected. Many people say they don't have time to exercise, but with small planning, you can fit in 20 to 30 minutes per day. For example, walking to school or work, stretching during breaks, or doing a short yoga session at home. Exercise gives energy and focus, which makes the rest of your day more productive. Meal preparation is also part of time management. Planning meals in advance saves both time and stress. Cooking in bulk on Sunday, for example, allows you to have ready meals for the week. This way, you avoid rushing or ordering fast food, which saves money and time. Finally, time management is about forming habits. Good habits like going to bed on time, setting daily goals, and following routines reduce stress and make life smoother. Once a habit is formed, it becomes automatic and you no longer need to think about it. For example, brushing your teeth or preparing your bag the night before becomes a simple routine that saves mental energy. Let's start with household chores. Many people struggle with cleaning, laundry, and organizing their homes because they leave everything until the last minute. For example, if you clean your home only once a week, it may take 3 to 4 hours. But if you manage small chunks of time every day, like 15 to 20 minutes of tidying each morning or evening, cleaning becomes easy and stress-free. You can divide tasks: Monday for vacuuming, Tuesday for dusting, Wednesday for laundry, Thursday for bathroom, Friday for kitchen, weekend for bigger projects. Small daily actions save hours in the long run. Here's a dialogue example for chores. Lucy, I hate cleaning. It takes so much time. Julia, do you try small daily cleaning sessions? Lucy, no, I clean everything at once on Sunday. Julia, try 15 minutes each day. It's easier and you have more free time later. Next, let's look at grocery shopping and meal prep. Many people feel they waste time buying food every day, but if you plan weekly meals, make a shopping list, and even prepare some meals in advance, you save both time and money. For example,
Cooking a large batch of rice, pasta, or stew on Sunday can provide meals for several days. You can also chop vegetables and store them in containers for quick use. Now let's discuss work and office tasks. Many workers feel overwhelmed because they have many emails, meetings, and reports. Time management helps you focus on what really matters. For instance, checking email only 2 or 3 times a day instead of constantly can save hours. You can also prioritize tasks, urgent and important tasks first, then important but not urgent tasks. Less important tasks can wait or be delegated. Here's a role play example. Paul, I have so many emails and tasks, I don't know where to start. Julia, try writing a priority list. Finish the most important tasks first, then the less important ones. Paul, I will try that. Maybe it will help me finish everything on time. Another area is studying and learning. Students often feel they need long hours to study, but small, consistent sessions are more effective. For example, studying English for 30 minutes every day is better than 3 hours on Sunday night. You can use commute time, lunch breaks, or even waiting in line to review vocabulary or listen to a short podcast. These micro-learning sessions add up over time. Here's an example dialogue for students. Anna, I never have time to study English. Leo, try studying 20 to 30 minutes every day. You don't need a long session. Anna, really? That's enough? Leo, yes. Small daily efforts work better than long, rare sessions. Now let's talk about exercise and health. Many people say they don't have time to exercise, but planning just 20 to 30 minutes a day can improve energy, focus, and overall well-being. For example, walking to work, taking stairs, stretching during breaks, or doing a short home workout can fit easily into your schedule. Exercise also helps you sleep better, which is another way to manage your time effectively. Here's a dialogue example about exercise. Tom, I don't have time to exercise. Julia, try 20 minutes in the morning or evening. Even short exercises help. Tom, I can do that. Maybe I'll feel more energetic too. Another tip is managing social life and hobbies. It's easy to lose track of time when spending hours on social media, video games, or chatting. These activities are fine in moderation, but time management helps balance fun and responsibilities. For example, you can plan 30 minutes for social media after finishing homework or 1 hour for hobbies during free time. This ensures that fun doesn't interfere with important tasks. Here's a dialogue about balancing hobbies and work. Sarah, I spend so much time on my phone and I don't finish homework. James, try scheduling phone time after completing your tasks. It helps you stay productive. Sarah, good idea. I will try it tomorrow. Now let's discuss travel and vacations. Many people feel stressed while traveling because they don't plan well. Good time management ensures smooth trips. For example, packing a bag the night before, checking travel tickets, and preparing directions in advance saves hours and avoids last-minute stress. You can also plan your sightseeing or activities with realistic time limits. This way, you enjoy the trip without rushing. Here's a dialogue about travel planning. Emma, I always forget something when traveling. Daniel, try packing your bag 1 or 2 days before. Make a checklist for everything. Emma, that sounds helpful. I will do that next time. Time management also improves sleep and energy levels. Many people stay up late and feel tired the next day. Planning a regular bedtime helps your body rest and improves focus. For example, if you go to bed at 11 p.m. and wake up at 7 a.m., you get enough sleep to be productive the next day. Good sleep is a foundation for managing time and completing tasks efficiently. Another practical tool is weekly and monthly planning. Some people plan only day by day, but thinking ahead helps reduce stress. For example, on Sunday, write down your tasks for the week: work, study, errands, and personal activities. You can also note appointments, deadlines, and social events. Looking ahead helps you manage unexpected tasks without feeling overwhelmed. Here's a dialogue example. Anna, I always feel stressed during the week. Leo, do you plan your week in advance? Anna, no, I just see what happens each day. Leo, try making a weekly plan on Sunday. It helps organize your time and reduce stress. Now let's discuss meeting deadlines. Many people procrastinate, leaving tasks until the last minute. This creates stress and lowers quality. To manage deadlines, break tasks into small steps. For example, if you have a project due in 5 days, write one section each day instead of doing it all at once. This reduces pressure and improves results. Here's a dialogue about deadlines. Mark, I always finish projects at the last minute. Julia, try breaking tasks into small daily steps. It makes the work easier and faster. Mark, that sounds good. I will try it with my next assignment. Another important aspect is time for learning new skills. Many people want to learn something new but feel they don't have time. Time management helps. For example, you can dedicate 20 to 30 minutes per day to learning a language, practicing music, or reading. Small daily actions lead to big progress over time. Here's a dialogue about learning new skills. Sarah, I want to learn guitar, but I have no time. John, try 20 minutes every day. You'll improve quickly with small daily practice. Sarah, I didn't think 20 minutes was enough. I will try it tomorrow. Finally, let's discuss stress reduction and mental health. Time management reduces stress because you know what to do and when to do it. Planning your day, week, and month helps prevent last-minute rushes. It gives you control over your life and reduces anxiety. When you manage time effectively, you have more free time to relax, spend with family, and enjoy life. Many people feel that there was never enough time to finish all their responsibilities. The secret is breaking tasks into smaller steps. For example, if you have a project at work that seems very big, instead of thinking, I need to finish this today, break it down. First, gather information, then create an outline. Next, write a draft, and finally, revise. Each step may only take 30 to 60 minutes, but by completing them one by one, the project becomes easier and less stressful. Here's a dialogue example for clarity. James, this project is huge. I don't know where to start. Julia, break it into small steps. Start with gathering information today, then outline tomorrow. James, oh, that seems manageable. I will do that. Small steps are also helpful for home tasks. Let's say you want to clean your entire apartment. Instead of cleaning everything at once on Saturday morning, divide the tasks. Monday, clean the living room. Tuesday, clean the bathroom. Wednesday, vacuum bedrooms. Thursday, dust surfaces. Friday, organize the kitchen. It only takes 15 to 20 minutes per day, and your home stays clean without stress. Now let's talk about meal preparation and healthy eating. Many people skip meals or eat unhealthy food because they don't plan. Planning meals saves time and energy. For example, on Sunday, you can plan meals for the week, shop for all ingredients, and even pre-cook some food. Then every day you just need to heat or finish cooking. This saves hours during busy weekdays and keeps you healthy. Here's a dialogue about meal prep. Emma, I always eat fast food because I'm busy. Julia, try planning your meals for the week and cooking some in advance. It saves time and money. Emma, I didn't think of that. I'll try it this Sunday.
Another important area is using technology wisely. Technology can save time if used correctly, but it can also waste hours. For example, email, messaging apps, and reminders help organize your day. But scrolling through social media for hours wastes precious time. A useful strategy is to set specific time limits for apps or only check notifications at certain times. Here's a dialogue about managing technology. Leo, I spend hours on my phone every day. Julia, try setting specific times for social media, like 30 minutes after work. The rest of the day, focus on tasks. Leo, that sounds hard, but I will try it. Now let's explore time management for learning. Many learners feel they don't have enough time to practice a language, study for exams, or read books. But even small daily sessions are effective. For example, learning English 20 minutes in the morning, reviewing vocabulary during lunch, and listening to a podcast in the evening adds up to 1 hour a day. Over a month, that's 30 hours of practice, which is much more than a single long session once a week. Here's a dialogue for learning English. Anna, I don't have time to study English every day. Julia, try 20 to 30 minutes daily. Small steps are better than one long session. Anna, I can do that. I'll start tomorrow. Commuting is another area where time management helps. Many people spend long hours traveling, but this time can be used productively. For example, on the bus or train, you can listen to a podcast, read a book, practice language skills, or plan your day. Commuting becomes a chance to learn instead of wasted time. Now, let's talk about sleep and rest. Poor time management often leads to late nights and insufficient rest. Planning your day allows you to finish tasks earlier and go to bed on time. Good sleep improves focus, memory, and energy, which helps manage time better the next day. For example, if you finish homework and meals on time, you can sleep at 11 p.m. and wake up refreshed at 7. We have already explored morning routines, studying, commuting, chores, shopping, work tasks, exercise, social life, travel, sleep, weekly planning, deadlines, hobbies, stress reduction, and learning new skills. Today, we will dive even deeper into practical examples, workplace scenarios, cultural habits, and daily routines to show how time management touches every part of life. Let's start with managing your workday efficiently. Many people feel overwhelmed at work because they try to do too many tasks at once. The key is to organize your day by priorities. For example, make a list in the morning of 3 to 5 most important tasks. Focus on these first. Other less urgent tasks can be done later. This helps reduce stress and increases productivity. Here's a dialogue for clarity. Paul, I have so many emails and reports, I don't know where to start. Julia, focus on the 3 most important tasks first. Finish them before moving on. Paul, that makes sense. I will try it today. Another important work strategy is batching similar tasks. For example, answering emails in one session instead of constantly checking throughout the day saves time. You can also schedule phone calls back to back instead of spreading them out. This reduces wasted time and keeps you focused on more important work. Now, let's discuss managing meetings and appointments. Meetings are necessary, but sometimes they waste time. Before attending, ask yourself, do I really need to go? Can I get the information by email?
If you attend, plan a clear goal for the meeting and try to stay focused. For example, take notes and set action points at the end. This way, meetings are productive instead of time-consuming. Here's a dialogue about meetings. Emma, we have a meeting every day, and it takes so long. Julia, can you ask for shorter meetings or only attend when necessary? Also, prepare points in advance to save time. Emma, good idea. I'll try it this week. Next, let's talk about managing family life. Time management is crucial at home because many tasks are ongoing, like cooking, cleaning, and childcare. Creating a schedule helps the whole family. For example, set specific times for meals, homework, chores, and relaxation. This way, everyone knows what to do and stress is reduced. Here's a dialogue example. John, my kids fight because they don't know when to do homework. Julia, try creating a simple schedule for the family. Homework, playtime, and meals at fixed times. John, that sounds helpful. I'll make one tonight. Now, let's look at time management for students. Many students struggle with studying, social life, and part-time jobs. A good strategy is time blocking, where you set specific time blocks for tasks. For example, 8 to 9 a.m. English, 9:10 a.m. Math, 10:15 a.m. break, 10:15 to 11 a.m. Science, and so on. This keeps your day organized and ensures no task is forgotten. Here's a dialogue for students. Anna, I never finish my homework on time. Julia, try time blocking. Allocate specific times for each subject. It works well. Anna, I will do that tomorrow, thank you. Another important aspect is using waiting time wisely. Many people wait for buses, doctors, or appointments and feel this time is wasted. Instead, you can use this time to review flashcards, read, or listen to a short podcast. Over time, these small periods add up to hours of productive time. Here's a dialogue about waiting time. Leo, I waste so much time waiting at the doctor. Julia, bring a book or listen to a podcast while you wait. It's a productive way to use small moments. Leo, that's smart. I'll do it next time. Now, let's discuss time management for shopping and errands. Many people spend hours shopping because they do not plan. Making a list, checking store opening hours, and planning the route in advance saves hours and reduces stress. You can also plan sightseeing with realistic time limits. This way, you enjoy the trip without rushing. Here's a dialogue for shopping. Maria, I spend hours at the market every week. Julia, try making a list and planning your route. Visit all stores in one trip. It saves time. Maria, I will do that next week. Next, let's explore time management for hobbies and self-improvement. Many people want to read, play an instrument, or practice a sport, but they feel they don't have time. The key is to schedule small, consistent periods. For example, 20 to 30 minutes a day can lead to progress over weeks and months. Small daily actions are better than long occasional sessions. Here's a dialogue for hobbies. Sarah, I want to learn painting, but I have no time. Julia, try 20 minutes every day. Small, consistent practice leads to improvement. Sarah, I didn't realize 20 minutes could help. I will start tomorrow. Now, let's talk about time management for travel and vacations. Many people feel stressed during trips because they do not plan well. Packing the night before, checking tickets, and preparing directions in advance saves hours and reduces stress. You can also plan sightseeing with realistic time limits. This way, you enjoy the trip without rushing. Here's a dialogue for travel planning. Emma, I always forget things when traveling. Julia, pack 1 to 2 days before. Make a checklist for everything you need. Emma, good idea. I will try it next trip. Another important skill is time management for learning languages. Many learners feel they cannot practice daily, but even 15 to 20 minutes a day is effective. You can listen to a podcast during commuting, read a short article during lunch, and write a few sentences in the evening. Over time, this small daily effort leads to significant improvement. Here's a dialogue for language learning. Anna, I never have enough time to study English. Julia, try 15 to 20 minutes a day. It's easier and more effective than long, rare sessions. Anna, I will try it tomorrow. Thank you. Time management also improves mental health. When you know what to do and when, you feel in control. Planning reduces last-minute panic, prevents stress, and allows more time for rest, friends, and hobbies. For example, knowing your week in advance helps you avoid unexpected problems and enjoy free time fully. Here's a dialogue for mental health. Paul, I always feel stressed and behind schedule. Julia, try planning your day and week in advance. It reduces stress and gives you free time. Paul, I'll make a weekly plan tonight. It sounds helpful. Finally, rewarding yourself is part of effective time management. After completing tasks, take small breaks. In conclusion, time management is not about doing everything faster, but about using your hours wisely. Even small changes, like planning your day, using waiting time, or practicing for just 20 minutes, can lead to big results over weeks and months. Remember, the key is consistency. Whether you're learning English, managing work tasks, or spending time with family, small daily steps build strong habits. So don't wait for the perfect time. Start today. Take small actions and watch how your days become more productive, balanced, and enjoyable. Thank you for joining me here on English Without Limit. I'm Julia, and I'll see you in the next lesson.